We're standing here on Westminster Bridge in front of the Houses of Parliament.
And why are we here?
We're trying to bring attention to the fact that every day 200 species are going extinct and nobody seems to be doing anything about it. Our leaders seem to be sticking their heads in the sand and ignoring the existential crisis that is surrounding us. And ordinary citizens have had enough. If the governments are not going to act, then we will try and bring the attention to the issues ourselves. We've been told by scientists that we have 12 years left to turn things around, possibly even less. If governments aren't going to do it, then ordinary citizens have to try and take things into their own hands.
This is probably the most important thing that we need to sort out and deal with it at this point in time. We are actually running out of time.
This is all that's left to us because we're not being listened to, we're not being heard, and in the end you just have to act.
We all have generations standing behind us, and actually if they're going to have a future we need to do something now.
I'm here because I want to help the planet survive for my children, my children's children and their children.
I'm here because we've reached a point where only drastic urgent action is going to cure the situation we find ourselves in.
I need to be able to look my children and my grandchildren in the eye when they ask me, what did you do to stop this happening? What did you do about climate change? I need to be able to say that I did what I could.
Have you been involved in activism before?
No, I've never done anything like this before for any other movement, but I feel so strongly about this that I'm here, and my heart's been beating with fear to actually be here, but I thought it's so important, I've got to be here.
I haven't, no, I haven't ever, but I had to come this time. I had to get involved in this.
No, nothing at all. And I'm prepared to be arrested for this. For the first time, I feel I'm doing something worthwhile.
No, never been to a protest in my life. First time. But the way it is, it won't be the last, because I don't think it's going to stop unless we shout.
I'm here because this is so important, much more important than almost anything else.
I'm here because I care about planet Earth and always have done. Because I love life and I want life to continue as long as possible.
I'm here for my children, my grandchildren. There's no future for them at the way it is. It's getting worse and worse.
We have actually unconsciously messed up this planet. We need to make amends. So join the Extinction Rebellion now, and please come along and take part in the sort of actions that we're doing today.
This generation must act now, illegally if we have to, because it's the only way we're going to get the message across. So the more of you that join, the better.
We fundamentally need to change the system. I don't believe that the capitalism, that this model of infinite economic growth year after year is compatible with a habitable planet. And this movement promises to make a change.
I'm doing it for our children, for our grandchildren and for future generations. For us, we'll probably be gone by the time that the actual crisis starts to really hit.
I'm certainly doing it for my grandchildren's generation, who are really, really going to suffer.
Well, it's not so much for me, but it's for future generations. You know, I've been lucky enough to live on a planet in the days before climate change was in the vocabulary, that everything you saw was going to be here into perpetuity.
It absolutely breaks my heart to think of them going into the future, perhaps when I'm not here, and living in a world that is going to be harder and harder, and to actually know that they're going to suffer. I think my generation have had the best of history, we've had the best of location, and we have a responsibility to give something back.
To demonstrate to people that this is a real crisis for humanity and we've got to be doing something.
Do protests like this make our sounds heard, make our voices heard?
Every life matters, because if everybody did a little bit, we could maybe change something.
Think of your kids and your children's kids if they've got the courage to have them, because this is going to be a serious consideration.
It's an emergency situation like a war situation. It should be seen as such. But it would also make people much happier, because people would rally together and it would solve so many problems about isolation and loneliness and depression, because people would have something to work for.
That every species has a right to be on this planet.
You know, climate change is the most important issue. It's the most important issue for absolutely everything, whatever anybody's interested in, whatever they love to do, whatever their personality, whatever their religious persuasion, whatever their sexuality. This is still the most important issue
for all life on planet Earth.
We need this sort of movement to do it.
Come and join us.